Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 8 might end up being the most underestimated phone of 2026, and weirdly, Samsung itself could be part of the reason why. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. While everyone is busy talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and the rumored Z Fold 8 Wide, the Flip 8 is barely getting any attention. But honestly, that could be a mistake. Because if you look past the flashy headlines and giant foldable concepts, the Z Flip 8 could quietly become the foldable most people actually want to buy. And the interesting part is that Samsung doesn't even need to reinvent the phone to make that happen. Right now, most of the conversation around Samsung's upcoming foldables is centered around the Fold lineup. The Z Fold 8 Wide especially is generating a lot of buzz because people think it could resemble Apple's long-rumored iPhone Ultra approach. Bigger display, premium design, ultra-high-end positioning. Naturally, that grabs attention. But that attention has kind of pushed the Z Flip 8 into the background, and that feels unfair considering what the Flip series represents. The Flip line has always been the more approachable foldable. It's smaller, easier to carry, and most importantly, significantly cheaper than book-style foldables like the Fold series. For a lot of people, the Flip is the first foldable that actually feels practical instead of experimental. And even though early leaks about the Z Flip 8 sound a little underwhelming on paper, that doesn't automatically mean the phone will disappoint. In fact, Samsung might be making a smarter decision than people realize. According to recent rumors, the Galaxy Z Flip 8 may keep a lot of the same hardware from the Z Flip 7. That includes similar cameras, battery capacity, charging speeds, and display specs. Normally, people hear that and immediately think, okay, so this is just a recycled phone. But here's the thing, the Z Flip 7 was already really good. Samsung already made the major upgrades last year. Bigger displays, thinner design, improved battery life. Those were meaningful improvements. So instead of chasing unnecessary changes this year, Samsung might simply be refining the experience. And honestly, refinement matters more than flashy upgrades once a product category matures. Look at regular smartphones. Every year, phones become more polished instead of radically different. Foldables are probably entering that same phase now. What makes this especially interesting is the possibility that Samsung keeps the starting price unchanged. That could end up being the Z Flip 8's biggest advantage. There's speculation that the base model could still launch around $1,100 in the US, while higher storage versions might see price increases instead. If Samsung actually sticks to that strategy, the Flip 8 suddenly becomes very competitive, especially because Motorola's newer Razr lineup reportedly got more expensive this year. And while Motorola absolutely deserves credit for pushing flip phones forward, Samsung still has the advantage in software support, ecosystem integration, and global availability. If Samsung can offer a refined foldable without increasing the entry price, that's a pretty strong move in today's market. But there's another detail here that could matter even more than pricing: the crease. Another biggest complaints people still have about foldables is that visible crease in the middle of the screen. And according to some rumors, Samsung may finally reduce it significantly, or potentially remove it almost entirely. If that actually happens, it changes the experience more than people think. Because for many users, the crease is still the reminder that they're using future tech that hasn't fully matured yet. A cleaner display instantly makes foldables feel more normal, more polished, and more premium. Combine that with a thinner and lighter body, and suddenly the Z Flip 8 starts sounding a lot more exciting than the leaks initially suggested. But there's one area where Samsung absolutely cannot afford to cut corners: the processor. This is probably the most important thing Samsung needs to get right. There's concern that Samsung could once again use an Exynos chip inside the Z Flip 8 while reserving Qualcomm's Snapdragon Elite Gen 5 for the Fold 8 models. And if that happens, it would feel like Samsung is intentionally holding the Flip series back. At this price point, people expect flagship performance. A foldable that costs over $1,000 should not feel like the less powerful option. And fair or unfair, Qualcomm Snapdragon chips still have a stronger reputation for performance, gaming, thermal efficiency, and battery optimization than Samsung's Exynos processors. If Samsung truly wants the Flip series to become mainstream, it needs to stop treating it like the secondary foldable. because realistically, the Flip form factor probably has more mass market potential than the Fold design. Most people don't need a phone that unfolds into a mini tablet, but a compact phone that folds in half to fit comfortably in your pocket, that's much easier to understand immediately. That's why the Galaxy Z Flip 8 could end up surprising everyone, not because it radically changes foldables, but because it might finally perfect the formula Samsung already created. And honestly, that's sometimes more important. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.